Welcome to Structure Accountability. I'm Juan Ojeda Jr. This audio brief accompanies research issue number 2, The Accountability Illusion: Why Organizations Measure Activity Instead of Responsibility. In the written issue, I explored why organizations often mistake visible activity for accountability. Meetings happen, reports get submitted, dashboards turn green. Yet none of those things necessarily tell us whether someone actually owns the outcome. Today, I'd like to move beyond the framework, explore what this looks like inside real organizations. Because once you begin recognizing the pattern, you start seeing it almost everywhere. Most organizations don't suffer from lack of effort. In fact, many suffer from the opposite. Walk into an organization during quarter end, month end, or a major reporting cycle, and you'll find people working incredibly hard. Phones are ringing, meetings are taking place, reports are being finalized, status updates are being sent. From the outside, everything appears under control. Then ask one simple question: who owns resolving this issue? That's often where the certainty begins to disappear. People know what they're responsible for. Fewer people know who ultimately owns the outcome. That's an important distinction because responsibility and accountability are not the same thing. One pattern I've observed repeatedly involves notice management and compliance workflows. A notice arrives, someone scans it, someone uploads it, another person routes it, someone prepares a response, a reviewer signs off, a manager approves it. Every person completed the task assigned to them. Yet weeks later, the issue remains unresolved. When people begin asking what happened, every step in the process can be explained. What often can't be explained is who actually owned making sure the issue reached resolution. That isn't usually a failure of effort. It's a failure of design. Process distributed work effectively, it never established clear ownership of the outcome. Organizations often believe that adding additional review strengthens accountability. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it has the opposite effect. Imagine a reporting process involving multiple reviewers. An analyst prepares the work, a senior reviewer examines it, a manager signs off, a director receives the final report. Each person assumes someone before them or after them will identify any significant issue. Ironically, the more reviewers added to a process, the easier it becomes for accountability to diffuse across the group. Everyone contributes, no one fully owns the result. Another place this becomes visible is in organizational reporting. Leadership reviews dashboards. Metrics appear healthy. Reports are delivered on time. Compliance deadlines are met. Those measurements tell us something important. They tell us that activity occurred. They do not necessarily tell us whether better decisions were made. They don't tell us whether the underlying information accurately reflects operational reality. A dashboard can be entirely green while important risks continue growing underneath it. That's why dashboards should support accountability. They should never replace it. There's another distinction that's worth making. Many organizations assign someone ownership of a process without giving that person authority to improve the process. They're expected to solve problems. They aren't empowered to change the system creating those problems. On paper, they're accountable. In practice, they're managing constraints they don't control. Real accountability requires more than assigning someone's name to a workflow. It requires giving that person both ownership of the outcome and sufficient authority to influence it. Without both, accountability becomes largely symbolic. The accountability illusion doesn't develop because people stop caring. Most people care deeply about the quality of their work. The illusion develops when organizations begin confusing activity with ownership and process with accountability. As organizations become more complex, work naturally spreads across more people, more systems, and more reporting layers. Unless accountability remains equally clear, complexity begins to hide responsibility rather than strengthen it. That's why accountability isn't simply an organizational value, it's a structural characteristic. It's something organizations either design into their systems or gradually design out of them. This discussion naturally leads to the next question. If organizations can maintain the appearance of accountability, can reporting systems also maintain the appearance of accuracy while drifting further away from operational reality? That's the question I'll examine in research issue number 3, where we'll explore what happens when reporting stops reflecting reality and how organizations continue making decisions based on information that appears reliable but no longer tells the full story. Structural Accountability is an independent research publication exploring governance, reporting systems, operational risk, and organizational accountability. Research issues are published monthly, with companion audio briefs released between issues. If you'd like to continue following the series, you can subscribe to the Structural Accountability newsletter on LinkedIn and listen to the audio briefs on your preferred podcast platform. Thank you for listening. I'm Juan Ojeda Jr., and I'll see you on the next audio brief.